Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 British battleship, Monarch. Monarch is going to be the mainline British representative in the Tier 8 bracket, and Tier 8 is very competitive from a battleship standpoint. They're all very, very, very successful. I enjoy Tier 8 a lot. Is the Monarch good enough to compete? Well, I think it does compete very well. It has a different role, granted, than the other battleships. The Monarch focuses on better concealment, better HE shells, solid accuracy, fast turret traverse, smaller than average caliber gun, if we're going to be completely honest, with 381. That's comparable to the Bismarck, but the Bismarck has secondaries that are actually usable. This doesn't. So what you have is a smaller than average gun caliber, AP short fuse, HE fantastic, good turret traverse, great concealment. Armor is okay, lowered citadel, so short to medium range is going to be difficult to citadel. Long range, though, you're probably more susceptible than the average battleship. Now, granted, good luck getting a long range shot that is a citadel. There's just so much time for the target to maneuver, angle, all that stuff. But I'm really excited. I'm really, really, really excited for the British battleships. And I'm even more excited than I was at the Untitled video. So I would read into that whatever you want. It's going to be very exciting for you. I think you'll enjoy the entire British battleship experience. They very much excel at a 1 versus 1, but they are overwhelmed if you allow the enemy team to get in position to engage you. Clearly the enemy team has decided that A point is really, really important, and I am on a flank with 4 targets maybe to assist me, so we got to be very, very careful. Ergo, I am moving to max range, engaging on my own, and we're trying to punish any cruisers that stray a little bit too close. So what's good about the Monarch? Great concealment, best in class concealment. The heal is the best at this tier. You are using the Warspite heal. We haven't upgraded to the super heal, but this heal is very usable. The Citadel is super low in the water. You are immune to Citadels at point blank range. They cannot Citadel you, but you can absolutely Citadel them if they're Japanese, if they're American, or Japanese, so take advantage of that. Secondaries are pretty average, the same range as American. The armor is okay. You do take extra damage on average. You just have this outer layer of softness. That's the best way to describe the British battleships. Everything gets in the ship. Very rarely does it overpin, and you just have to compensate by trying to heal it back up, or using your concealment. I think this ship will be difficult to use if you don't have a concealed commander. I think that's true at Tier 7, Tier 8, Tier 9, and Tier 10. They are really designed to dip in and out of detection. And through this first impression, that's absolutely what it feels like. They have continued that trend. You do benefit from the concealment module that you did not benefit from on King George V, and that's why the concealment's so good compared to it. It's basically the exact same frame, it just has a larger gun caliber. Super solid speed. I really enjoy it. I don't get overwhelmed if I play correctly. If I drag the enemy into a situation where they really, really, really want to kill you, then I can take advantage of that. I can drop off detection. I can minimize the threat by using the islands to block any target that might be close or corner off the enemy. And these guns are absolutely enough to take on a target 1 versus 1. And if it's a cruiser, wave goodbye, because they won't live very long. I'm just hoping that this guy will try and rotate just enough that I can pin his Citadel, and we get pretty good placement on the guns, miss the Citadel slightly. We do almost 10,000 damage to him, and there's a lot of battleships, Tirpitz and Bismarck, who cannot answer. We're trying to maintain distance from the secondary threat that those two ships bring, and kill off his friend. That's the goal with this engagement. Maintaining good angle. You still want to angle even though the armor is very soft. Outer layer. you still don't want to take a huge broadside. You know, there's a lot of superstructure, just as the Germans. It's very easy to get 10, 15,000 broadsides, even though you can't get the citadel, so keep that in mind. Play smart. The enemy York is moving forward. He's as thin as he possibly could be. Can our guns hit the target? Well, not with that shot. God, that was a bad shot. Could it have been a worse shot? It just dispersed everywhere. And you're like, okay, well, we get to wait. Oh, yeah, guns, just keep waiting, just keep waiting. I'm hoping my teammates don't kill him, honestly. The selfish player in me is like, I'm hoping front guns are trying to rotate. They won't get there in time. It looks like we get lucky, though, and one of the shells disperses into his nose and kills him. So the team's doing good. We captured 2 bases to their 1. Enemy tried to recapture C Point from behind. I am still trying to drag a couple enemy battleships. I don't want them to dictate the ranges that I engage, and they are going after a friendly, so I'm basically immune to damage right now. They don't want to engage me. They would rather kill the friendly that's right behind me. Now, there is a cyclone coming, and the Tirpitz has torpedoes. So, I feel like if I'm going to get extra damage in the game, I've got to move and attack. So, I'm going to drop off the detection with Cyclone as the source of that. And then I'm going to move my ship into a position where I'm basically immune to frontal attacks on the Tirpitz. Now, I don't want him to use his torpedoes, though. I kind of want to bait the Tirpitz to fire at my nose or in this forward position, but I also want to drag him out so I don't run into his torpedo systems. 6-kilometer range is when you're too close to the Tirpitz. Secondaries, obviously, are going to be hitting me. I did load HE because I knew what I was going to do. I knew he was going to angle against me. I wanted to set him on fire and do damage to his bow. 381 is more than enough to shoot the 32 millimeters of bow armor that the Germans have and that pretty much every battleship has. Elevate it a little bit to try and spread that fire. Go after the bow, go after the superstructure. I can't really get the stern, but you notice now we're engaged. His secondaries are going after us, but he can't use his torpedoes. It's all on my knowledge of this engagement, who's going to win. I do have a way better heal. The Warspite heal is just the superior heal until you get the super heal of the Lion and the Conqueror and the Nelson. But we're still going to shove it in. I wish AP could be used in this situation, but it just can't, and I'm going to angle as well. He does get a little bit of damage, I think 4K, but we're not going to stay close enough for him to torpedo. And look at who is streaking in there. We've got the friendly destroyer, and boy, is the Tirpitz going to have a rude awakening, and he realizes it. Not exactly what you want to see. He shows a full broadside. HE, super solid. He's absolutely dying to the torpedoes, and that was a really slick attack run by that destroyer. Clearly, the enemy team didn't like the approach that some of their teammates did, but, you know, I definitely garner attention. I did choose a flank that the majority of the enemy team was pushing, but you notice I tried to stay near the concealment range of the ship. Sometimes they would get within a kilometer, but that's generally what I was trying to do. I was trying to engage the targets, but also sort of make them feel like they had a chance. And be careful, that could be just the playstyle of the Brits. They're going to make you feel like you have a chance, they're going to heal back up, and then you're at a huge disadvantage. So I would basically assume in most 1 versus 1 versus a British battleship that they have a heal available, and it's going to heal for anywhere between 10 to 30% of their health. Are you capable of overcoming that? Yes, continue the pursuit. No, try and get back up. But since the enemy team sort of went one after the other, some of them broke off, some of them continued the pursuit. It was sort of that situation where, well, we've committed this much, let's keep committing. And then my teammates were able to assist me in taking out the enemies. We moved forward, and we're still extremely healthy. We took a lot of attention by them, but we're over 60% of our life is still there, and we have more heal charges available. That's why I like Superintendent on my British battleships. They just feel like, because they don't mitigate the damage as cleanly as something like a German, or even a Japanese or an American, as long as you don't get into the citadel, you definitely have to compensate by using a heal. Now, I just take a blind shot, seeing the secondaries go off, and we shatter on the target, so we probably hit one of the guns. Interestingly, I don't know which gun we hit, but I was going to hopefully try and help my teammate survive. He's very, very low, and I do have HE against a broadside. I will switch once I fire my two main guns, my main gun turrets. And yeah, we're switching to AP. You definitely want to switch ammo. Don't fire one. You could be 80 or 90% successful with just HE. But if you really want to be that good, solid British battleship captain, you need to switch your ammo. It's going to feel weird if you only main battleships. It's going to feel completely natural if you play cruisers. And the Monarch is no exception to that rule. That's just how I feel they need to be played. So we take out the battleship. With the help of a teammate, he dodged it. Clearly he uses hydroacoustic. And, convenient. An enemy destroyer is very close. So I'm going to load HE, because HE will basically one-shot a destroyer. And clearly he's detected us, so we just have to cover the distance to detect him. And I figure he's over here. Obviously, that's where the torpedoes came, and sure enough he is. He's 50% life. We broadside this guy, and it looks like we had a lot of shells go on target and just devastate him. British battleships can absolutely wreck face. 125,000, 3 kills, super solid game. The Ibuki beat us slightly. Great job, Ibuki. So there was the Monarch. Hopefully she can be right up there with the other Tier 8 battleships. If she does, it will be a super successful launch of the Tier 8 British battleship. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.